Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to be discussing the topic called it as in our 10th unit, Telangana economy. So we have already discussed about the different sectors which will be available in our economy. So the Telangana point of view we have been discussed like agriculture sector. Mainly we had three sectors: agriculture sector, industrial sector, and the service sector we had here. So we have been in detail discussed about the how the agriculture sector in our Telangana state and the industrial and service sectors playing their particular role for the development of the economy we have been discussed here. So now let us discuss the industry that the name infrastructural development in Telangana state here. Infrastructural development in our Telangana state. So economic development. So economic development of the state. Economic development of the state directly it is going to be depending upon the development of agricultural, industrial and the territory sector. So here the different sectors which will be available in our economy. So the economic development of the state is going to be directly depending. The economic development of the state is directly depending upon the development of the agriculture sector, development of the industrial sector and the development of the service sector. That is called it as a what here, the third major sector of the territory sector is known as a service sector here. So the development of all these sectors we'll call it as in what here, the development of the economy here, the development of the economy. So here but these sectors when we are going to be taking, but these particular sectors called agriculture, we had three sectors now. Agriculture sector is also called it as a primary sector, industrial sector is called it as a secondary sector, and the third major sector, territory sector, is also known as service sector here. So that's what we are calling here. But these sectors directly or indirectly, so actually the directly it will be dependent for the development of the our economy will be dependent on these particular three sectors here. So either it may be directly or indirectly require the, so to develop of our economy directly or indirectly we are going to be requiring of the infrastructural development here, infrastructural facilities we are going to be needed here. So which can be divided into mainly two types here. So one is of economic infrastructure, another one is a social infrastructure here. So here the development of the economy will be dependent directly, it is going to be dependent on the mainly three sectors. Those are called it as a primary sector, secondary sector and the territory sector here. So now here we are going to call it as an, so here either it may be that the but these particular sectors may be directly or indirectly. All these sectors like primary, secondary and tertiary sector, directly or indirectly they are going to be dependent on the direct, either sometimes it may be dependent, some of the sectors it is going to be directly dependent on these things, and some sectors indirectly they are going to be dependent on so their particular development on the infrastructural facilities here. So infrastructural facilities, so the infrastructural facilities can be divided into mainly two categories here. The infrastructural facilities can be mainly divided into two categories. One is of economic infrastructure, another one is a social infrastructure here. One is called it as an economic infrastructure, that the another one is called it as an what here, social infrastructure. Economic infrastructure, the other type is called it as an what here, social infrastructure. So mainly that the all the sectors will be directly or indirectly they are going to be dependent on the directly or indirectly they are going to be dependent on the infrastructural facilities here. So that infrastructural facilities are mainly divided into two categories. One is of economic infrastructure, that the another one is called as an social infrastructure here. So one is called it as an economic infrastructure, that the other type is called it as a social infrastructure here. So let us know what is actually the economic infrastructure and what is actually the social infrastructure here. So the services and facilities that are using the services and facilities, the services and also the facilities which are used, so that are used in economic production. Economic production are called it as an what here, economic infrastructure. Services and facilities that are used in economic production are called economic infrastructure. Services are the facilities that are used for economic production. Economic services or facilities that are used for economic production is called economic production is called economic infrastructure. So now what is actually the economic infrastructure here? Economic infrastructure means the services or the facilities that are used for the services or the facilities which are available can be used for the economic production. Economic production is called it as nothing but what here? Economic infrastructure. Economic infrastructure. So then no, so that can be known as what? The service. The services and the facilities include of what here? Energy, irrigation, transportation, postal and telecommunication, and banking, etc. will be treated in the form of an economic infrastructure here. So what are the examples we can take here? Examples of energy, irrigation, transportation, postal and telecommunication. Energy, examples: energy, irrigation, postal and telecommunication, and bank. Postal and telecommunication, and banking, etc. called as what here? Economic infrastructure. So what are the examples we can take for the examples for the economic infrastructure here? Energy means power generation. Energy means what here? Power generation. Electricity power generate చేస్తాం కదా మనం. So power generation. Irrigational facilities అంటే ఏంటి? Dams కావచ్చు, dams or projects, lakes. So these all will be coming under what here? So here canals, these all will be construction will be there, no, for the providing the irrigational facility, agricultural production purpose. So that is nothing but the irrigational facilities. Water facility provided, postal department, and telecommunication, and also the banking or etc. We can take it for the examples for the economic infrastructure. These all will be taken the examples for the what here? Economic infrastructure here. So what is actually the service sector? That is what is actually the social infrastructure here. So that the other type is called it as in what here? Social infrastructure. So let us know what is actually the social infrastructure here. So here that the social infrastructure includes education, health, housing, sanitation, education. Social infrastructure include of what here? Well-being of the society. Social infrastructure including of what here? Well-being of the society is called it as an social infrastructure. So what are the things will be included under the social infrastructure? Education, health, housing, sanitation, family and labor, the labor welfare, family and labor welfare, etc. will be coming under the social infrastructure here. So however that the present unit is concerned with the energy and irrigation of the economic infrastructure, and the education and health, the social infrastructure and their contribution in Telangana here. So especially in this particular unit what we are going to be, so what is actually the social infrastructure will be included here? Social infrastructure includes health, education, sanitation, housing, sanitation, and labor welfare. etc. are called it as what here social infrastructure. So what will be coming under the social infrastructure here? Social infrastructure includes of a health, education, housing, sanitation, and also the labor welfare etc. will be included under the social infrastructure here. Social infrastructure. At present, in this particular present unit, means in our Telangana economy unit, we are going to mainly concentrating the economic infrastructure like economic infrastructure. We are going to be learning about the mainly irrigational facilities and energy and irrigational facilities as an economic infrastructure. We are going to be learning how their particular part will be playing in our Telangana state, and also health and education. Health and education in the social infrastructure we are going to be learning in our Telangana economy here. So here let us know irrigational sources in Telangana here. So the next one is what here? So irrigational sources in Telangana. The next one is what here? So what are the different number of irrigational sources will be available in our Telangana state? We are going to be learning here. So in an agrarian economy, so means what here? The backward economy. So in our agrarian economy, so the level of agricultural production in our agrarian economy, so the level of agricultural production and productivity at the all over the socio-economic development and the overall socio-economic development can be highly influenced, by the availability of irrigational facilities. By the availability of irrigational facilities, మన దగ్గర ఉన్న irrigational facilities బట్టే అక్కడ agricultural production అనేది మనం ఇంక్రీజ్ చేయడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. The overall production of socio-economic development will be helping us here. So in our agrarian economy, the level of agricultural production, and the productivity and the overall socio-economic development, can be highly influenced by the availability of irrigational facilities, here, according to Arthur Lewis. According to Arthur Lewis. According to Arthur Lewis, so the revolutionary change in the farm sector can be in the sense nothing but what here? Agriculture, farming where it will be arise here? In the agriculture sector here. So what the revolutionary change in the farm sector can be obtained only through the provision of adequate. సో ద రెవల్యూషనల్ చేంజెస్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఫాస్ట్ ఫార్వర్డ్గా చేంజెస్ ఎప్పుడు మనం ఇది చేసుకోగలుగుతామో అగ్రికల్చర్ సెక్టార్లో. సో హియర్ ద రెవల్యూషనరీ అంటే ఏంటి? ఏదైనా ఏమంటే మనం తగాదా వస్తే ఎంత ఫాస్ట్గా ఇదవుతామో ఇక్కడ కూడా అదే అనమాట. సో ద రెవల్యూషనరీ changes should be arised in our farm sector can be obtained by through the provision of adequate irrigational facilities. There is a provision will be made for the adequate అంటే సరిపోయినంతగా irrigational facilities అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలి, and the agricultural inputs here. So proper water facility will be needed and proper agricultural inputs అంటే ఏంటి? సమయానికి విత్తనాలు ఉండాలి, వాటికి అవసరమైనప్పుడల్లా నీటి సౌకర్యం ఉండాలి. అప్పుడే కానీ మనం పంటల్ని బాగా పండించగలుగుతాం. ఇప్పుడు విత్తనాలు పెట్టిన తర్వాత మొలకెత్తిన తర్వాత వాటికి వాటర్ అవసరం ఉంటాయి. మనం వాటర్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయకపోతే అవి ఎలా పెరుగుతాయి చెట్లు? అవునా కాదా? సో హియర్ ఆల్సో we are going to be divided. So the required level of irrigational facilities we should have to provide, and also the better inputs also we should have to provide here. Since water is an important factor in agricultural production here. ఏది పండించాలన్నా మనకి నీరు అనేది కంపల్సరీగా కావాలి. అవునా కదా? చిన్న మొక్కను పెంచాలన్నా నీరు అనేది కావాలి, పెద్ద చెట్టును పెంచాలన్నా నీరు అనేది కావాలి. అవునా? ఏ పంట పండించాలన్నా, ఎలాంటి రకమైన పంట పండించాలన్నా నీరు లేకుండా ఏ పంటను కూడా మనం పండించలేము. Isn't it? So without water we cannot produce any production. Means any agricultural production cannot be produced without the water here. So the water is the main source. Water is the main source for the production of agricultural facilities here. So here the agricultural production, government should ensure adequate and timely supply of water here. So government should have to, what the government should have to do here? Government should have to take proper and timely supply of the water should be provided for the agricultural produce here. So the main sources of irrigation in Telangana, the main sources of irrigation in Telangana state can be classified into 4 categories. The main sources of irrigational facilities available in our Telangana state will be mainly divided into 4 categories here. So those are of canals, కాలువలు అంటాం కదా, canals, కాలువలు, ఇప్పుడు తెలుగు గంగా కాలువలు ఇట్లాంటివి ఉన్నాయి కదా. సో హియర్ దట్ ద canals, wells, bowl, ట్యాంకులు అంటే ఏంటి, మనకి ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ డ్యామ్లు కట్టాం కదా. Then other sources here, mainly it has been. So here that the Telangana state can be classified into 4 categories. So here that the irrigation in the sources, main sources of irrigation in Telangana state, main sources of irrigation in Telangana state, divided into 4 categories. The main sources of irrigational facilities in Telangana state has been divided into 4 categories here. So the first one is the canals, second one is the wells, and the third one is the tanks, and the fourth one is the other sources here. So canals. So first one is called it as what here? Canals. The second system is called it as wells, and the third one is called it as tanks, and the fourth system is called it as the fourth one is called it as what here? Other sources here. Other sources. So here that the first method is called it as that mainly it has been the main sources of irrigational facilities available in our Telangana state. Mainly it has been divided into 4 categories here. So the first category is canals, the second category is called it as wells, the third category is called it as tanks, and the fourth category is called it as other sources here. So let us discuss in detail regarding of these things here. So in our unit table 10.8, at the end of the unit, at the end of our 10th unit, so the table 10.8 will be revealing the data regarding of this particular irrigation. So the different irrigational area under the different sources of irrigational facilities of the different area we are going to be finding in the table 10.8 from the year of 1960 to 61 to 2013 to 14 here. So 1960 to 61 to 2013 to 2014, up to 2013 to 14 the data is going to be revealed under that particular table here. So it can be seen that the tank irrigation which had a higher share, tank irrigation is going to be having a higher share, 60% in the year of 1960 to 61. 1960 to 61. So 60% tank irrigation, 60%. So 60%, that the 60% of the irrigation will be provided through the tank irrigation facility. So in the year of 1960 to 61 here. So gradually declined to, it has been declined to in the year of 2013 to 14. In the year of 2013 to 14, it has been decreased So day by day it should have to increase, but it has been. So here the tank irrigation system has been decreased to that the tank irrigation system has been decreased to 8.94% here. 8.94%. 8.94% here. 8.94% it has been reduced here. So whereas the share of well irrigation, share of well irrigation, షేర్ ఆఫ్ వెల్ అంటే పెద్ద పెద్ద బావులు ఉంటాయి కదా, ఇప్పుడు పొలాలలో బావులు తవ్వించుకుంటారు అవునా. సో ఆ బావుల ద్వారా ఎంత నీటిని అంటే ఎంత సాగునీరు పొందగలుగుతున్నాం. సో హియర్ దట్ ద ఎప్పటి నుంచి 1960 to 61 నుంచి 2013 to 14 వరకు ఏ చేంజెస్ వచ్చాయని మనం నేర్చుకుంటాం. So here the share of means here whereas the share of well irrigation assumed from the 19.01% to so here increased. So 19.01% to it has been increased to how much here? It is of 73.83%. 73.83% has been increased here. 70. So here at the time of 1960 to 61 it was only 19.01%. It was only 19.01%. Now according to 2013 to 14 it has been increased to 73.83% here. 73.83% has been increased here. 73.83% has been increased here. So whereas during the same period here. So in the last 50 years, increased in the last 50 years there has been a major shift in pattern of irrigation by the Telangana, making it more costly for farmers here, making it is more costly for the farmers here. So highly uncertain and unsustainable here. Highly uncertain and unsustainable అంటే ఏంటి, చాలా ఇప్పుడు దాంట్లో నుంచి బావిలో నుంచి నీళ్లు తోడాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి, మనకి బోర్ పంపులు పెట్టేవాళ్ళు అవునా. సో దానికి ఏం కావాలి, మోటార్ పంపులు ఫిక్స్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. మోటార్స్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ అవ్వడము, తర్వాత వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చే ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ రేట్ కూడా ఎక్కువగా ఉండడం వల్ల అక్కడ ఫెయిల్యూర్ అయ్యిందనమాట. సో హియర్ దట్ ద తెలంగాణ మేకింగ్ ఇట్ మోర్ కాస్ట్లీ ఫర్ ద ఫార్మర్స్, హైలీ అన్సర్టైన్ అండ్ అన్సస్టైనబుల్ హియర్. సో అన్సస్టైనబుల్ అంటే బోర్లు వేయడం వల్ల ఏమైపోతుంది, సో ఎక్కువ ప్రతి ఒక్కరు కూడా బోర్ వేయడం వల్ల ఏమైపోతుంది, గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి రెడ్యూసింగ్ హియర్. So the groundwater level is going to be reduced here. So that will be what will be happen here, unsustainable. So the degradation of the land will be arising or not here. So that's what we are calling unsustainable here. So there was a step decline the area under. There was a step decline the area under tank irrigation and show decrease in irrigation under the major and medium projects. Major and medium projects will be showing the decreasing, leading the sharp rise in the irrigated through the private wells here. అంటే ప్రైవేట్ బౌల్ ద్వారా ఎక్కువ మనకి వాటర్ ఫెసిలిటీ అనేది ఇరిగేషన్ కి అందుతుంది. సో దిస్ ఈస్ అ పార్టీ డ్యూ టు నెగ్లిజెన్స్. దిస్ ఈస్ ఏ పార్ట్లీ డ్యూ టు నెగ్లిజెన్స్ ఆఫ్ గవర్నమెంట్ యాటిట్యూడ్. So why it has been private people occupancy will be increasing here due to of the government negligence on the farmers irrigational facilities here. So the government attitude over encroachment of the tank beds and cultivation of house construction here. Tank beds పైన houses construction చేయడం, గవర్నమెంట్ పర్మిషన్ ఇస్తేనే కదా అక్కడ మనం ఇల్లులు కట్టుకుంటాము అవునా కదా. So due to all that particular that negligency and also for the their negligency government attitudes because the houses will be constructed on the tank beds. So these all are the reasons for reduction of the tank means the tank irrigational facilities here. So from the table 10.8 it can be seen that the Telangana tube wells are the main source of irrigation here. At presently that the tube wells are the main. ట్యూబ్ వెల్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, వాటర్ పైప్ లైన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, వాటర్ పైప్ లైన్స్ ద్వారా మనకి ఇరిగేషనల్ ఫెసిలిటీస్. ఇప్పుడు ట్యూబ్ వెల్ అంటే ఏంటి, కెనాల్స్ వేసి కెనాల్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి మనకి ఇది ప్లాస్టిక్ ట్యూబ్ వెల్స్ ద్వారా మనకి వాటర్ ఫెసిలిటీ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తారు. సో హియర్ దట్ ద ఇన్ తెలంగాణ స్టేట్స్ ట్యూబ్ వెల్స్ ఆర్ ద మెయిన్ సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇరిగేషన్ అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ సోర్స్ and it is one of the important source for availability of plenty of groundwater and partly due to predominant of impact of canal irrigation here. Predominant of irrigation, canal irrigation, and other reasons being the tank irrigation was given lesser importance here. Tank irrigation is going to be given the less importance than the canal irrigation here. So apathy of earlier government here. That can be evident from the table 10.8 here. So after formation of Telangana state, after formation of Telangana state, Telangana ఏర్పడిన తర్వాత, so the government of Telangana has been giving a much priority. The government of Telangana is going to be giving the more priority the development of the irrigational facilities, for the development of the irrigational facilities in our Telangana state here. So it has been implementing the various irrigation projects. They are going to be implementing the various irrigational project. A transform of the, they are going to be transforming the, so a transform of the goal of providing irrigation. They are going to be means what here, they are going to be implementing the various projects. Various projects means irrigational projects they are going to be constructing to transform the goal of providing irrigation. To transform, they, what is their particular main goal అంటే ఏంటి, వాళ్ళ మెయిన్ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ ఏంటి, ప్రొవైడింగ్ ద ఇరిగేషన్ to the least 1 crore acres, least of 1 crore acres of land, least of 1 crore acres, 1 crore acres అంటే ఏంటి, కనీసం 1 కోటి ఎకరాలకైనా ప్రాపర్ ఇరిగేషనల్ ఫెసిలిటీ అందించాలి అనేది డిఫరెంట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ వాళ్ళు చేపట్టడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. వాళ్ళ గవర్నమెంట్లో కనీసం 1 కోటి ఎకరాలకి, కనీసం 1 కోటి ఎకరాలు అంటే ఏంటి, ఇప్పుడు మన ప్రజెంట్ 1 కోటి ఎకరాలు అంటే మాటల అవునా, 100 లక్షలు. 1 కోటి ఎకరాలు అంటే 100 లక్షలు. సో హియర్, సో అట్లీస్ట్ 1 crore of hectares, at least 1 crore of acres of the land, agricultural land, so they want to provide it as an irrigational facility. They want to provide it as an irrigational facility here. So providing the irrigation at least 1 crore acres of land here, 1 crore acres of land, they want to provide it as an irrigational facility under the Telangana government here, under the Telangana government here. So the present status of irrigational projects in the present status. So now let us learn the present status. What is actually the present status of a different number of irrigational projects? The present status of irrigational projects in Telangana state, in our Telangana state. So here we have to learn, so what are the different number of at present in our Telangana state, at present in our, after forming of a Telangana state, after formation of a Telangana state, so the different number of, so the number of irrigational facility projects are there. The number of irrigational projects are there under the, we had the 2 main rivers which are going to be flowing in our Telangana state, we have already discussed here. So one is of Krishna river basin and the Godavari river basin, we have been discussed here. So there are the 2 major rivers which are going to be flowing in our, flourishing in our Telangana state, we have discussed. So the Krishna river basin and the Godavari river basin. So what are the different number of projects which are going to be providing them? What are the different number of projects which are going to be providing the different number of domains, the irrigational facilities for this particular, they are trying to reach the 1 crore acres of land for the irrigational facility want to be provided by the Telangana state. And what are the different number of programs they are going to be introducing to develop of that particular state here, develop of that particular state, we are going to be in detail learning here. So here mainly we are going to be having it as an, at present, the present state of irrigational facilities projects in our Telangana state, mainly it has been divided into 2 categories here. So one is of Godavari river basin and the another one is called it as an Krishna river basin here. So let us learn in detail regarding what are the different number of projects which has been constructed under this particular Godavari river basin and the Krishna river basin. Previously we had, and at the, after the formation of Telangana state, what are the different number of projects are there, we are going to be learning in detail now here. We are going to be learning in detail of this particular projects here. So regarding the Krishna river basin and the Godavari river basin, we are going to be learning.